Pike County, Kentucky has been fortunate. Last year there was 11 from Kentucky that applied. We're the only one that got any awards last year. We received 5 awards. So this year there was 2 applied in Kentucky, and Hardin County got 1, and the great county of Pike got 8 awards. It's a tribute to your leadership of the county and the city, and the leadership, and I see Governor Patton here, the leadership of Governor Patton. And as the years he served as governor of this Commonwealth, he set the benchmark high, and since governor, you've been at Pikeville College, you've set the benchmark very high, and we've had to hustle to keep up with you. And as Donovan Blackburn and I was talking this morning after you all met. But welcome everybody to this. Some of the county officials will be taking part in this today. You'll be surprised, I'm sure, of some of the entities of the county that has received a national award. But it is a great event today, something for us. The awards will be given in Oregon, and our award will be picked up by Randy Johnson. He'll be taking part in this today. He will be in Oregon. We're unable to go to Oregon for this, but Randy will be picking it up, and there's a possibility that one other that receives an award will be there also. But now I'll call on John Doug Hayes for the invocation.
Shall we pray? Father in heaven, as we convene together to celebrate awards and accomplishments of government, its leaders, the people of this county, Father, we are mindful, Father, and will be mindful that every good and perfect gift cometh from above. And so, Father, we first lift up your holy name and praise you, Father, for blessing us with the opportunity to live in this great country, Father. We just celebrated Independence Day. And Father, we thank you. It is truly a blessing to call ourselves a citizen of this great nation. And Father, you have further blessed us with the opportunity to live in a great state and to live in a great community, the community of Pike County and Pikeville. And Father, we just thank you for those blessings. Father, your holy word says that we're to pray for our governmental leaders, and we do so today. Father, for all of the leaders in government, it is not easy to lead. And Father, it is difficult, and it involves great sacrifice. So we thank you that we have men and women who are willing to assume those leadership positions. Father, our prayer today is may those leaders always look to you for the guidance that they need in the governing of people. Father, we thank you for the people of Pikeville and Pike County, and we just asked a special blessing on them. And finally, Father, we thank you for the opportunity to accomplish what has been done, not for any one individual, Father, but for the people. You have made that possible, and for that we give you all praise and thanks and glory. For it is in Jesus' precious and holy name we pray. Amen.
Now I'll ask Magistrate Leo Murphy to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, everybody. Just the day before yesterday, we celebrated probably the greatest day in the history of the United States, and that's Independence Day. And for me to lead you in a pledge is an honor and a privilege. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
we're on the radio live, so and we have a block of time. So to do that, I'd like for the county officials, all of them, to stand. Some will not be taking part in the actual ceremony, so all the county officials, please stand. County Attorney Hall, Sheriff Kazee, Lonnie Osborne's here, and the judges, would you, Judge Thompson, there's School Superintendent Wagner, and there's Lonnie Osborne over there, PVA. So we'll move on and get this started. The first award will go to the judicial building, and that the judicial building, the board of that board. On that board, I am chairman by Kentucky statute. The vice chair is Judge Eddie Coleman, which is present, and Magistrate Jeff Anderson, Pike County City Manager Donovan Blackburn, and Charles E. Lowe Jr., Citizens at Large, District Judge Darrell Mullins, who's present, State Bar Association representative is Neil Smith, and David Deskins, the Circuit Court Clerk. When we started construction of this building, it was the goal of the board to make this a green building. Our architect firm, and the building is a beautiful building, and if you have an opportunity to look at the picture here today, you can tell how beautiful this building is going to be. But we wanted to do more than that. We wanted to have a building that people could say that it is an energy-saving building. And this is an example that worked. The architect firm that designed this, Steve Sherman and that group, they did a magnificent job on this new judicial building. So I would ask Judge Eddie Coleman to make his way up here, and I want to present this to Judge Coleman on behalf of this committee that I chair. And let me say this is a building, it's one of the most active boards that I serve on. Everything has been discussed about this project. We have made many trips to Frankfurt. I was down recently and talked with the Chief Justice. Mr. King, I want to recognize you. If you would stand up, Jim. Jim has been our representative from the state, and we couldn't have pulled this project off, in my opinion, because we've had some subsurface problems if it hadn't been for Jim's expertise and his diligence in making sure that that this building was a success. This building hopefully will be completed by early next year to be occupied, but Judge, I know you're as happy as I am, and I would like for you, on behalf of the board and behalf of the people of Pike County, and I want to present you with this achievement award for the committee and for the people of the county.
On behalf of the Project Development Board, I'd like to express our gratitude in this recognition. These members have devoted a lot of time to this project, and they did so with the hope that for many years there will be a place of pride for the citizens of Pike County. It will sit on Main Street diagonally from the courthouse. It will be a place to renew your driver's license, to probate wills, where custody of children will be decided, where disputes among citizens will be resolved, and a place where criminal laws are enforced with the rights of the individual respected. It will sit on Main Street to show that the people of Pike County hold in high regard the orderly process of justice with respect to all, regardless of wealth, position, class, or race. The building will replace the 2 floors above the jail and the family court and drug court areas in the BB&T building. It will give the court system the room it needs to function properly now and for the foreseeable future. Our hope is that this building will last 50 to 100 years, and that be heated and cooled at a reasonable temperature, not at 60 or 80 degrees when we're trying to do business. and that when it rains, it'll be dry. And you know, my personal office has been flooding since 2003. When you get older, you get decades confused. But since 2003, I periodically had floods in my office. We want to make the place safe for people who work there, for people who come there as a juror or as a witness or as a party. Allow people to get to the building without going through some kind of maze. If you go to the building we're currently in, to go to pre-trial, to have to fill an affidavit for a lawyer or to get a bond set, you have to have help to get there. If you're coming to court for a traffic ticket, you have to, or any kind of crime, you have to walk through the jail to get to the courtroom where you're expecting justice. If you're coming there to get your driver's license renewed, you have to go into one of two old creaky elevators to get upstairs to get your driver's license renewed. But we are indebted to Governor Patton, who got our building on the list, to the Chief Justice Lambert, who actually put our name on the list, to our current Chief Justice Minton, who's made sure we got the building to where we are now, to our Senator Ray Jones and our other representatives. We're led by Judge Rufford, and really, the reason we have a Leeds building is because of Judge Rufford. He wanted a green building, he wanted to save energy. This Leeds building means that the materials that we use are, to the extent possible, recycled. The things that we tore down, that material is recycled. All the material we use to build this building come within 300 miles to save energy in transporting materials. It'll save us money in the future on energy costs and what have you. It's just, we hope it's going to be a really good place for people to work and visit. We have people on the board, besides Judge Rufford. We have Magistrate Jeff Anderson, who's been to every meeting, worked on this project. We've got Judge Lowe, who's had experience as a circuit judge and as an attorney. Neil Smith, who not only is a practicing attorney, was also the school board attorney. When the school board buys property, they build buildings. His experience with the school board's been helpful to us in our project. We've had this design team from Lexington who's allowed us, Judge Thompson and Judge Combs and Judge Friend, who are on the committee, to be able to participate in the designing of this building. And we're just quite pleased with this. The fiscal court itself has made this project possible by agreeing to help us with finance, by agreeing to help us with property acquisition, by agreeing to supply us with the county attorney, Keith Hall, and his assistant, Roland Cates. The city has got Donovan Blackburn, who's been instrumental on this committee, and they gave us City Attorney Rusty Davis, who's helped us immeasurably. We just hope that we'll be able to build a building that you folks can be proud of for years and years to come. And we humbly accept this award. Thank you.
The next award we had is for the Pike County Mobile Health Unit. That unit, we hope everybody be able to tour that unit while you're here today. Pike County, the largest county in the Commonwealth and land area, and which means that we have a problem of providing service to all the people in the county. Paul Hopkins, if you'll come forward, I would like for, if any of the members of the health board is present, and Paul, if it's all right, I'll go ahead and read those for you. As the chairman is Dr. Joey Collins, Dr. R.V. Matthew, myself, Deborah Huffman, consumer member, Dr. James Justice, Dr. Marianne Belcher, Dr. Bill McCoy, Tracy Thornsbury, RN, Dr. Paul Maynard, Dr. Larry Coleman, MD, Charles Byers, engineer, and Carl Napier, Pike County Social Services Director. This too very active board. It asks a lot of questions, dwells into anything. And for Paul Hopkins, they keep getting awards. He got an award this year for the positions. His position is director of the Pike County Health Department. He was director of the year. So they keep stacking up the awards. But this is something that people visionary. Now this is an example of the federal government, state government, local government, city government, community, again, working together. Congressman Hal Rogers' office was involved in this from the beginning. And so, Paul, it's my pleasure to present this to you, and it is a great honor for the health department and for the people of Pike County.
As Judge Rutherford said, we have a very active board, and our board has the insight and the ability to see into the future and see what is needed for our county. When I come to the board with some ideas or suggestions about how we can improve services of Pike County, they're always receptive and always willing to work on, no matter what it takes to get the programs going for us. I'd like to thank NACo Association of Counties for recognizing our mobile health unit. About 5 years ago, we started evaluating what we could do for Pike County and how we could improve our services to the county. When I try to tell somebody from downstate or somebody from out of the county, out of the state, how hard it is for people to access services in Pike County, they just can't realize that you can drive an hour and 45 minutes from here and still be in the county. I've always said at meetings I go to, we have a lot of great services in Pikeville, a lot of available services in Pikeville, but availability in this large county does not mean accessibility. So that is the way we approached when we wrote our grant, like I said, about 5 years ago. We started noticing in our health department that our medical services were decreasing. We had about a 50% no-show rate on our appointments, and we started calling the patients and asking them why they weren't able to make the services. 90% of those individuals said that they had no transportation, or they couldn't obtain services because they couldn't get to where the services were at. So with that in mind, I met with a group at the health department to see what we could do. Did we need to look at more buildings out in the county, or did we need to look at how we could provide those services? And that's when we came up with the idea of the mobile health unit. I immediately started looking for grants. I contacted our local ad. I contacted the Department of Local Government, and through those communications, it came up that maybe we could contact the ARC and see if money might be available. With that in mind, we did contact them, and I can't say enough for Peggy Slattery at the local government. She helped us so much in writing this grant. But I have to recognize the staff that worked with in writing this grant. If you ever wrote a grant, it's not easy to write a grant and pull all this data together, and really the first hurdle is just writing the grant. Belinda Bentley, she's not here. Is Danita here? Are you here, Danita? They were, unfortunately, I have some staff that's on vacation and of course having other things, so they weren't able to make it, but they were instrumental in writing this grant and staying on top of the grant and submitting it to the Department of Local Government for the ARC consideration. And we did do that, and then we started, of course, had to tweak it some to meet what they wanted us to do. But then a few years back, we got the grant, and during that process, I looked at 3 different companies that provided mobile units. I went to Ohio and visited 2 of them. So we really looked at what we needed to do to drive through the rural area and the mountainous area that we had. So we did develop a plan in place and had it in place for this. Unfortunately, as we started going out and doing services, we started realizing that the technology we needed had not caught up with what we were planning on doing, which is to provide more services and provide some what we call WIC services out in the community. This year, the state announced that the WIC program would go through web-based services. So now in the near few months, we will be able to provide WIC out in the county that we couldn't do because it was not web-based services. So now it's a web portal. We can get in and provide those services. And then we're even looking at, some people have contacted us and said, well, you provide medical. Could you help us with our on-site sewage questions? Could you help us with our other programs that you have? So we're hoping to expand our mobile health unit to actually be like a portable or mobile health department to provide either information or access to services out in the community. I have to recognize Sherry Tibbs, who is this little short lady that drives that mobile unit. I don't know if you've ever seen, you just see her head going through when she's driving the mobile unit, but she does a great job at it. She goes out in the community. And then Melissa Whetstone, she works with Sherry on the mobile unit. We try to go to every part of the county that we can get the mobile unit in. There are some locations that we can't get it in. But if any of y'all from any part of the county would like to help have our mobile unit, please let us know. Contact us, stop by the mobile unit and get a card. We have Suetta Clevenger here with it today, and Cindy Hamilton, that will provide information for you, and we could schedule things in your area if need be. We also found out that it was a great location when we had our disasters. We actually took it out to over Raccoon and set it up as a central location because it did have air conditioning and water and septic service for people to come by and get to hitting the shots and also just get a reprieve to cool off. So it was great that we found out we could use it in disasters. So every day we're finding new uses for our mobile health unit. And I like to again recognize like Judge Ruther said, we have a very active board. The board is really considerate of anything that we do. And I can't say enough about the staff that work at the health department. We're always, through this difficult time, we're looking at how better to provide the services, how we could be more efficient and use the money that we have wisely. Can I have anybody working at the health department just stand up so they can recognize you? Anybody at the health department? I didn't see Jim there. Also, Jim helps us. Jim is a financial manager, and he actually keeps us in line with what we need to do with the mobile unit. And he was the one that had to fill out our monthly or quarterly reports to the ARC in order for us to make sure that we had all the I's audited and the T's crossed on that. So again, I want to thank everybody for coming today, and please come by and look at our mobile unit.
Pike County is flood prone, as you all know, but we have a resilient people. We come back after it seems like each flood. And this award was certainly deserved by our Pike County Emergency Management Office and the staff. And I'll ask our director. Now, let me add also that the Pike County Emergency Management Office also, it is a city-county thing, and I see Donovan Blackman here, the city manager. We work with them on each disaster that we have. They're part of it, and so Doug Tackett, if you'll come forward, and if I want to introduce our staff, the county staff in his office is Charles Maynard. I'd ask him to stand. If Charles Maynard, please stand, and Rachel Isaac, Kay Lawson, Nee Jackson, our safety director, and we have with us today Ron Householder from MapSync, and we have Tim Fields from MapSync. They're set up over here, and want you all to go by. And we are the most technological county that FEMA deals with. When they showed up in the county after the last flood, and we had taken some 1,300 calls approximately, under our program that we have on the computer, we was able to, each call we got, put it in the computer in the area, and then it went to a map. When FEMA arrived, Doug Tackett was able to hand FEMA representatives a copy of each complaint or each person involved in a disaster who had called in with a map showing where they lived, which we could go to the computer, push a button, give them a map to take with them as they go out in the county to assess the damage. So this is a great program, and on behalf of the people of Pike County and National Association of Counties, Doug Tackett, very deserving, and I want to present this award to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, but we developed this program as a partnership, and let me say that with floods, one of the things we have to do is prove that we have enough damage to warrant state and federal assistance, and in order to do that we have to do damage assessment. The way we've been doing it in the past was on paper, and it was really slow and time consuming, and it took a long time to get all the information together. The way we do it now is we ask people to call in with their damage, we input that into our system, and it shows us on a map in my office as its input where those areas of the county are that have the damage, the people that need assistance, and that allows us to put together damage assessment teams that we can send into those areas and collect further data on the forms that FEMA wants. And now we did that with laptops, bring it back in the office, download it into the system, but now we're at the point, because after 3 disasters we've looked at all the things that we could improve on, use lessons learned, and the gentleman with me here put together the application, and now we go out into the field with a smartphone or a BlackBerry, and as they collect the information on a form on that phone and collect 3 pictures, it's transmitted straight to our system and goes on our map. There's no more paper involved. It's all right there. We print reports as we need them. We send them to the State Emergency Operations Center, and we can send them to FEMA off our computer. It expedites the damage assessment process and shows them quicker what our needs are. We can also track resources with that program to know where to put points of distribution for water and food and things like that. So we can track the whole disaster with this software. And as it's a private-public partnership between MapSync and ourselves. And I've got to say that I have to share this with both Ron and Tim, because Tim works in our office. MapSync is a Lexington-based company, so they are a Kentucky company, and we're very proud to be associated with them. And I think Ron has something he'd like to say also. Ron?
Thanks, Doug. I'll keep this brief. It's an honor to be here, and want to thank everyone, particularly Doug and his staff and all the volunteers that are associated with making this happen. It's a real honor to accept this award from the National Association of County Officials. This was a team effort, and one that was not without a certain amount of pain involved. It was a learning process. This was a perfect example of a public-private partnership. When we began this process, we recognized that none of us had all the answers, that we brought our own levels of knowledge and expertise to solve a particular problem. The emergency management folks here in Pike and Tim leading the effort from our Pikeville office brought the local knowledge, the understanding of what was needed on the ground, an understanding of the problem that needed to be solved. We brought the technology to bear on the situation, and it was that public-private effort. And I think these days, perhaps more than any other time in these economic times, to leverage that public-private effort to get the kind of solution that makes sense in the most economical and technically feasible way is something that we all can be very proud of. So this award is something that we as a company are very proud of, and something I think that we as a community should also be very proud of. So thank you. Tim, would you like to say something? Actually, I think I would like Tim to step in because Tim has been a critical player in this, managing this from the local side, and he brings that local knowledge, and his reflections on this would be are also very meaningful.
Howdy. Quite a few of you already know me. I spent quite a few years in the courthouse here. Actually, it wasn't really easy leaving, but it actually worked out for the best both ways around because I got to work with a great new company that actually allowed me to work with a great local office and bring what I learned from the local and actually have the technology and the people to work with me and to work for them to fix stuff that I could never fix locally. We've got to sit there, work the disasters, work these products, and every time we have a disaster, I can tell you, we rewrite the whole thing. It's getting to the point now it's becoming stable, which is it's a good thing I think for Doug because he's actually getting to where he can control it now. But it's been a beautiful thing to work through, and it's basically only happened because like I said, I work for a great company, and it's a great local office and a great local organization. Thank you.
Next, we'll ask Sheriff Kazee and his dive team to come forward, please. And we'll ask Steve Friend, if he's here with him, to come up also. But this is part of our emergency management program also. But it's more than that. It's an evidence collective. They have been training at different areas, but they've been using our lake at Grants Branch, the county park at the lake. And this is a great honor for the sheriff and his staff. It's being innovative, having vision, and that's how that makes government work better. But this will save lives. It will convict people who has committed crime. It is a recovery program. If somebody gets drowned, they'll be able to get in the water and assist. This team was available at the last flood, and we emergency management, with the help of several different agencies, pulled 53 people out at Coon Creek when Coon Creek washed out from trees, buildings, top of houses, and saved life after life. So, Sheriff Kazee, I want to congratulate you all and present you with this national award from the National Association of Counties.
Thank you, Judge Rutherford, and I certainly want to thank the National Association of Counties for presenting this award to us. I certainly want to thank Judge Rutherford and the Pike County Fiscal Court for making it possible for us. Through my many years as sheriff, I have never had a dive team, but during those years there have been many times when we would need to for an experienced dive team, and now we have one. You know, many times there's drownings in the river, drownings at the lake, and we've got a team now that can recover those bodies. And then there's many times, because a crime has been committed, that maybe a weapon that was used in the crime was thrown into our streams. And we've got a dive team now that would be able to locate that weapon or whatever was used in the crime. But anyway, we have a real experienced dive team now, and I'm thankful for it. Now, my lead diver is here. We talked about this 3 or 4 years ago, and we came to the conclusion that someday we would have an experienced dive team. Now we're fortunate enough to have that. And again, we're thankful for receiving this award. I'd like for my lead diver to speak with you now and tell you of his experiences.
Thank you, Sheriff. Just be very brief. I know the sound is pretty bad, so I'll try to be clear and as brief as I can. Looking over this application, a couple things I wanted to talk about or just mention the fact that our team is 100% strictly a volunteer team. Myself, Deputy Danny Smith, and Deputy Ray Childers were the three original members of the team, and we're very fortunate now to have Deputy Scott, who is a uniformed officer with the department. But 100% of our time and resources are volunteer on a volunteer basis. So we do this because we love the sport and we love to be of assistance to our county. We have assisted the department in other aspects along the way. During the flood, the sheriff dispatched us over to Raccoon area to check on some folks that were stranded. And after we cleared that up, we helped in the recovery of some people that were up in Raccoon Creek. But also after the flood, Chief Deputy Sayers was short on some personnel, and he utilized the dive team and some traffic and some crowd control there in that Raccoon area. As far as county cooperation, the sheriff has been more than cooperative in helping us get this unit started. And I have to say that the judge, we've had quite a few meetings with Judge Rutherford, and Director Tackett and his team at 911 have been more than supportive with helping on filling our tanks and things like that. So we're certainly grateful about that. As far as our technology, if you'll see over on the table, and after the presentations, Deputy Scott and I will be around the table there. If you guys have any questions on our gear or any of the technology we use, we'll be more than happy to explain that. We have at our access, we have video cameras, we have still cameras, we have underwater lighting systems, and we do at least one training dive a month, whether it be at Grants Branch, or we use Flanagan Lake a lot because of the clarity to do our training dives. But we decided to, since Sheriff and I talked, since Pike County has the Lavasa Fork, the Tug Fork, Fish Trap Lake, and numerous ponds, that it would be to our advantage to have this team. I've traveled to Florida, South Carolina, a lot of places diving, and spoken with a lot of the law enforcement people in those areas, and they say, why don't you guys have a team? So about 4 years ago, Sheriff and I got together and we decided that that was what we do, and we have a very capable, knowledgeable team. I've been diving over 35 years now, and the other boys have been trained really well in search and recovery, underwater rescue, and that sort of thing. And the equipment that we have purchased through the county, I'd like to say, has all been purchased. We had a problem when cold weather came last winter. We had wetsuits, but we didn't have dry exposure suits. So we used, Sheriff obtained some drug forfeiture money, and we were fortunate enough to get some dry suits and a couple more air tanks that we use. Now we have plenty of equipment and plenty of technology to use. So we certainly appreciate that opportunity to work for the county, to volunteer our time for the county, and to be selected out of 4,000 counties nationwide to receive this honor is certainly one that does not go off lightly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pike County, America's energy capital, and we're working on a lot of energy projects. But we're happy to say that we got this. I'll ask Charles Carlton to come forward, and I'll ask Don Newell, who we've worked with, who is director of the Kentucky Energy and Environmental Cabinet Division of Fossil Fuels in Frankfort. Don's up here today on another project we're working on. He's got his work clothes on. He always does. And he's going to visit probably 2 sites today while he's up here on other projects. But this is a LNG project, a project on a rock truck, a 777 Cat. The rock truck is off-the-road truck that's used in coal mining. An example of the diesel truck, which will be using natural gas. We are fortunate to have a coal operator who used to operate in this county. Now he's down in Harlan County. We've been using his property and facilities to collect the data on this. We're working with NACo. NACo, matter of fact, this would save NACo $1.7 million a year on diesel fuel. So that's the reason that's the purpose of this. So Charles Carlton is our chairman or director of our energy office in Pike County. Charles has a big job to do. Spends all his time. Matter of fact, we worked over the 4th of July. So he came from down in his office up to mine, and we was both working. But Charles, it's a great honor for me to present to you and to Pike County Physical Court, Leo, because you all are part of this, and we have a great court. Leo can tell you we don't agree on everything, but we conduct the business of this county in a professional manner. If there's something comes up, we vote, then we move on. So, Charles, this is a great honor for this county of Pike, America's energy capital. And I will present this award to you on behalf of the National Association of Counties.
Thank you very much, Judge. I want to thank you, Judge Rutherford, for this honor, and to the National Association of Counties. And I also want to mention that this project would not have been possible without our private partner, Gaseous Fuel Systems of Western Florida. They are not able to be here today, but I want to recognize President Jason Green, Vice President George Aguilera, and Director Elio Mueller. Mr. Mueller is the former Deputy Director of the Overseas Private Investment Corporation of the United States government during the Clinton administration, and they are actively working on applications for the use of liquefied natural gas throughout the world. This project has attracted attention in the mining industry across several continents. We have had visitors from Colombia, from the largest mine in South America, from the largest iron ore operation in Brazil, from some of the largest operations in the western United States, as well as operations here in the eastern United States. The purpose of the use of liquefied natural gas is that it allows the substitution of approximately 60% of the fuel demand for any piece of major equipment. The greatest contribution we can make to the mining industry is to reduce costs to maintain coal and competitive with other fuels, and to do that, we have had great cooperation not only out of our private partner, but out of our public partner. And I would like to introduce Dr. Donald Newell with the Kentucky Department of Energy and Environment. Don is Director of Fossil Fuel Energy Development and is here with us working on another project today.
Good morning. When Alice went to Wonderland, I believe it was the White Queen grabbed her by the hand and took off running. And after a while, Alice looked and said, "Queen, we're in the same place. What's going on?" And the White Queen said, "Alice, in Wonderland, you have to run as fast as you can just to stay in the same place." I feel like that every time I come to Pike County. I have to wear my go-fast shoes just to keep up with Judge Rutherford, Charles Carlton, and the rest of the energy-related activity that you all are bringing to the table and excuse me, and supporting in Pike County. Charles has already told you about the rock truck. That's one of 3 reasons that I'm here in Pike County today. I won't bore you with the others. Believe me, I've heard myself speak. It's not that thrilling. But the biggest reason why I wanted to be here in front of you people was to thank all of you, all of your neighbors, and congratulate the people of Pike County for fostering and nurturing the type of activity and the environment that's required to make energy development in the 21st century a reality. I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother would listen to people that talked big for a while, and then she'd snort and say, you know, talk's cheap, takes cash to buy whiskey. Well, Pike County is bringing the cash to the table. With your activity, with your support, with your diligence, your hard work, all of the energy projects that you are supporting allow the people like Judge Rutherford and Charles Carlton to lead Pike County in the forefront of America in things like waste to energy, coal to liquids, and today's particular topic, Pike County's place bringing natural gas, liquefied natural gas, to Pike County as a fuel source for the future. So again, on behalf not only of myself, but Dr. Len Peters, who's the Secretary of the Energy Cabinet, thank you and thank your neighbors for all the support and all the energy and all the effort that you put into making Pike County truly America's energy capital. Thank you.
I see Dr. Bill Hickenbotham's with us today, a member of our Energy Board. And I see Brad Hall just come in from the Chamber. Brad, we're glad to have you today. The next one is, I said we're flood prone in this area for disasters. And you know, after the federal government comes in, after I declare, the governor declares, the President of the United States declares, then FEMA comes in, then the USDA and RCS comes in, who handles the streams now. And after they leave, all of these, then they leave people that's fallen through the cracks. It always happens, Fuzzy, the people that has needs, that goes beyond a flood. And it is as I said, our people are resilient. They come back after each disaster. We've had them in 37, you just count them, 1937, 47, 57, 67, Governor 63, and you go right on and during your term and during the other term. And then we had 2 in a row this last term. We had 3 disasters declared in almost 18 months here in this county. But we look beyond that. And to do that, we had to separate it from county government. To do that, and I'll ask Randy Johnson if he would come forward, and his committee, the members of that. Randy Johnson is the chairman, Richard E. Bradley, Charles Haller, Carl Napier, Darrell Maynard, who, if you all would stand, that's here as I call your name, so that, and I see Darrell back there, Mike Steele, Bob Finch, Rhonda Coleman, Sandy Runyon from the Ad District that we work with all the time to move this county forward, Robin Tackett, we all know Robin from the Red Cross, the work that she's done, Doug Tackett's wife, and Robin's here with it. Gay Newsom plays a role in this, our Pike County Housing Director. Teresa Newsom, Murray Moore, Rick Newsom, and Zora May from the Health Department. And so what a team. This is our long-term committee. And I want to say this committee is far ahead. I think that you will see that than any in this country. I'm talking about the United States. That's the reason the National Association of Counties, and they recognize the effective and innovative programs around the country. This is that type of program. This is not the first award that I see, the latter, as it's called, program that they have. But they are active. They have been involved in the development with Pikeville College up to the motel. You all are aware of the Radiothon East Kentucky Broadcasting Pikeville Medical Center held back during the flood, and that made funds. Many of you donated to that. But what a program that these people and it's made people's life, and it's helped us get through these crises a lot better. Randy, on behalf of the National Association of Counties and President Wheatley and the Executive Director Larry NACo, I present this to you, and I'm proud to present it to you, and I'm glad that you're going to be in Oregon and will be able to go out there and attend the ceremony there.
Some of you know that I was born and raised in Oregon and just married a girl from Pikeville, so I'm stuck here now. No, I'm not stuck here. I'm glad to be here. And you know what? I have to, for everything that Ladder has been able to accomplish, I have to thank God, and then I have to thank this great group of people that you just saw standing. They've put their minds together. We've been able to do some great things with a little bit of resources, help a lot of people. Thank you, Judge Rutherford, and all of your staff for convening a task force following the flood that was really gave birth to what we know as Ladder today, our long-term relief organization. I have to thank East Kentucky Broadcasting, the Medical Center, the Ministerial Association, and all of you, the members of our community who gave and continue to give funds and time to help your neighbor. That is one of the greatest things that I've seen out of this effort, is how local people have wanted to help their neighbor, and we're doing a great job, folks. The newspapers, the radio, everybody has been willing to give opportunities to share that message. We had some great leadership early on this, and he happens to be here today. Rich Bradley, our lead FEMA valet. Rich, where are you? Stand up. He's slipped in out of here out of another disaster down south, but I'm telling you right now, we couldn't have had the start at putting together our long-term relief organization if it hadn't been for Rich's leadership. So I thank you for that. All of our local elected officials have, every time we've come to them and asked for anything, have found a way to make that happen. Once again, a testimony to helping one another. I have to thank Pike County Affordable Housing. They've given us office space, and they've loaned us in some ways. Gay and her staff, we've taken advantage of every opportunity we've had to increase what we've been able to do. I really feel like we've had just a handful of monies when you looked at how great the need was, and I want you to know, with that little bit of money, and when you realize that the unmet needs after FEMA left, the unmet needs were in the millions of dollars, and with about $200,000 and a ton of wonderful volunteers, we have now put over 70 families' homes back together out of 120 that have applied for assistance. Over 70 of those people are already back in their homes, and by the end of the summer, almost everybody that qualified for assistance is going to be back in their homes, folks. That is great for a handful of money. Here, these are some amazing facts, and I'll wrap it up with that. Groups like Christian Aid Ministries, CRWRC, the Disciples of Christ churches from Kansas, Zion Lutheran Church in central Pennsylvania, and many others have given this county right now over 20,000 hours of labor to help our community. 20,000 hours. And then we have over 5,000 hours yet pledged for this summer, and some hope of some longer term, maybe another 10,000 this fall. That's amazing, folks, and they're helping us. So somewhere maybe down the line we can help others. I'm grateful and glad it couldn't have happened without the great support of the community and my board. Thank you, guys.
Pike County, Kentucky is the leading county, and we say green in Central Appalachia. Next, we'll ask Superintendent Wagner, Mr. Casey, and Board Member Virgil Osborne to come forth. We have the Pike County hybrid school buses. And if you all will come on forward, we'll present it to you, to the award today. Ever who you want to bring. We produce more coal than any county in Central Appalachia. We produce more natural gas. 53% of the natural gas produced in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, more than all the 119 other counties. So we are a green county. We work toward it. And I think the school superintendent is going to give you some information today of why the National Association of Counties gave this award for those hybrid school buses.
Thank you, Judge. I'll try to get into this microphone here that we might inform you of a few things of what the Pike County school system is doing. First of all, I'd like to thank the judge, certainly in the National Association of Counties, for this award for the Pike County school system. I would like to tell you, give you a brief history of what this hybrid bus came about. As you know, as the nation goes to more green and energy saving and so on, it's also affected our school systems across the nation. And one of those being hybrid buses. And so I would like to introduce our Transportation Director, Nancy Casey. He's with us today. I think the judge mentioned Virgil Osborne. He's on our board there as well. And I think maybe Earl Thacker's here somewhere. Yeah, Earl's back here, so appreciate those. And then my right-hand man, Roger Johnson, Assistant Superintendent, he's with me today as well. Appreciate him. Nancy came to me back in January of 2010, and what had happened is the federal government has informed us that there was availability of turning our fleet into a hybrid fleet. And at that time, the opportunity was for a grant that would have had 6 buses that they would help purchase those with. And so we did apply for that grant, and we got that in September of 2010. We got a grant to buy these 6 buses. And after that, we went into another cycle, and we also applied for another grant, which we got 16 new buses with that. And then in May of 2011 of this year, we also went into a third cycle of purchase, which we purchased another 15. And so what we have in the fleet of the Pike County school buses that we have a total of 37 school buses that are hybrid school buses, brand new buses. And this means a lot in a lot of different ways, not to mention the environment, but a conventional bus, my statistics tell me that we get about 6.3 miles per gallon. With a hybrid bus, we go anywhere from 9 to 10 miles per gallon. And the Pike County schools, our buses travel 10,000 miles a day. So I'm not going to get into all the numbers, but I think you can visualize exactly how much money we're looking at of saving the Pike County school system. What we look at during the future is continued purchasing of these. They have improved those. They're very safe, and the advantage that we have is where we get most of our mileage from is if the stop and go into some of our hollows, and we have plenty of those in Pike County. And so this is quite a savings. And again, I'd like to thank Nancy and our Transportation Department. And Judge, we appreciate the award today. Thank you.
Next, I'd like for Carl Napier and a representative from EQT to come forward, and Mr. Apsher. And this is a program that it's the Pike County Kemper Community Center. Mr. Superintendent, is board member Mr. Thacker can come up, or you either one to represent the school board again. This is a joint project. Now you'll see why the National Association of Counties gives this award, because it is a project that people work together. This would, if you'd look, it would have federal, state, local, the private sector funds in this project. This could not have been possible if the Board of Education, this is on the property of the Kemper School. Plus, we are now have under construction over there a gymnasium, which will be used by this program, but by the school also. So this is a cooperative program. Matter of fact, I hadn't recognized, but Brandon Roberts, why don't you stand? Brandon had to gather all, he's the administrative assistant in my office. He had to gather all this information we're talking about today and send in for these awards. But when he got to this one, he had so many, he said, he had to talk to get it. So Carl Napier, I know that this is a great honor for Pike County, the people of Pike County. Very deserving award to you, and I know that we have a board. You have a board, which is an independent board from the county, but our physical court and your board, and you have a local community board over there. So we have gone all the way to make sure that we would get, and to do that, all these folks here had to cooperate to make it possible. So Carl, it's a great pleasure for me to present this to you all for the hard work that you've done.
Thank you, Judge. You know, all good things come from God, and He's truly blessed us with the number of awards that we have. And He's blessed us with the Kemper Community Center in that He, as the judge mentioned, brought together a number of individuals and businesses that came together to make this project possible. And so but all projects begin with an ideal. And at this time, I'd like to recognize the gentleman that approached the Pike County Fiscal Court with the ideal of a community center in Kemper. And that gentleman is Robert Ward. If I could have Robert Ward stand. He made a number of trips to the fiscal court, letting his request be known, and to which we're thankful for. And then came about those individuals in our community came together, formed a committee that made this possible. And I'd like at this time to recognize those individuals, if they would stand, please, that were part of that. On the stand is Willie Absher, who served as our chairman. I appreciate all that he done and those that were on the committee. What's unique about this Kemper Community Center is that it brings together not only our community, but it's home of the Kemper Senior Citizen Center. And we have with us today several of our seniors from Kemper that I would like to ask to stand at this time to recognize them and to say how much that they appreciate the opportunity to be able to gather in the Kemper Community Center for activities. So at this time I'd ask them to stand and recognize those individuals. We provide senior services in the Kemper area 3 days a week out of the Kemper Community Center. That's Tuesday through Thursday. At the time when the seniors had approached me in the Kemper area to ask about the possibility of having senior activities in the community center, you know, I was all game, because the Pike County Senior Citizens Program's goal is to extend those services to our seniors in Pike County, and we're happy to do that. But one of the things that I soon realized after I had made that commitment, I sort of got the cart before the horse, because I thought, Now how am I going to transport those seniors, and how am I going to deliver the meals? So I immediately thought of EQT, and I went and searched and found that EQT has a foundation and that they were able to provide us with a grant of $50,000, and we were able to purchase this bus that you see to my over here to transport the seniors, and to the right you'll see the van that we do home delivery. And none of that would have been possible had it not been for EQT, and to that extent I want to say thank you to Maverick Bentley with EQT for making that possible to us. And before I introduce Mr. Bentley and allow him to speak, I'd also like to recognize another community partner, that was Kellogg's, who gave $10,000 toward this community center, and to which we're very appreciative. Also, I think it's wonderful that we're able to partner together with the Pike County Board of Education, and as a result of that partnership, we were able to lease the property where the community center is now situated, and I'll allow them to speak to that tune. But this time I'd like to introduce to you Maverick Bentley with EQT, and to say, Mr. Bentley, on behalf of the Pike County Senior Citizens Program, in particular the Kemper seniors, I would like to thank you and EQT for what you've done for us.
Well, it's both a honor and a privilege to be here and be a part of the award ceremonies today. I feel like that what we did in providing the contribution was a small portion of really the heavy lifting that took place with the Kemper Community Center Committee, as well as what Pike County Community Services did. So again, I just want to thank you all for your efforts in supporting our senior citizens.
At this time, I would ask Earl Thacker, who's our board member from Kemper, if he could speak as to their involvement with this project. And again, we appreciate the Pike County Board of Education, Mr. Wagner, and the board members that partner with us on this project.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and it's good to see things come to fertility, like the building we got going on here in Pike County, and over in the school district that I represent, District Number 2, of which I'm the vice chair of the board there. This Kemper Community, a multi-purpose facility, it's just a great thing. It gives our seniors activities, and I ask my mother daily, how many attend, and what goes on, and I just think our grandparents, giving our students, there at the school is just great for them, because they're so much a part of the children's lives, and to have something like this in the community is just great. And I'd like to thank everybody that was involved, in this. There have been many people, that have brought this project to its present state. And, the activities, I said, are just so great and offer so many rewards, to our school system and the quality of life, here in Pike County, which we continually are improving with everything that you see being done, with the hospital, the Pikeville College Osteopathic School of Medicine, and the school system with all the building we're doing. You're seeing rock being moved at Shelby Valley. You're seeing a brand new school being built at Phelps. And, all of this takes a partnership with everybody here in the county involved, and bringing stuff, that we can see reality from. And anyway, I just appreciate being part of it.
I'd also like at this time to introduce Willie Abshire, as I mentioned earlier, who chaired the committee, and allow him an opportunity to speak.
First of all, there's many people we need to thank for this Senior Citizen Center, Community Center. Robert and Eunice Ward back there, the relentless work that they did, the miles they traveled and stuff to see this become reality. Without their relentless and strive to get this, it wouldn't be here. But we also have so many more that we need to thank. Carl Napier, I know she's got her hands full. Mr. Wagner and the school board members and the board members, Judge Rutherford and the fiscal court, EQT, Kellogg's, and most of all the citizens of Kemper. We all come together, we all strive together that we can have this. You know, at one time, the senior citizens was the future. It was because of them, I think, that we are here today. And they deserve the best. They deserve the best. We are the future. Our children are the future. And they're going to work and strive to see that when we get older, we can't do no more, that we'll have the best. And that's what it's about. It's taking care of one another and taking care of our senior citizens. I want to thank each and every one of you for all you've done to make this possible. Thank you.
Governor Patton, I'd like for you, Governor Patton, would you come up, please, and close this ceremony out? You know, we work very close with the city of Pikeville and Pikeville College, and might add about the Kemper project. Magistrate Dotson, Hillman Dotson, not with us. He calls that one of his favorite projects, and he spent a lot of time on that project with these folks too, Magistrate Hillman Dotson. But I'm going to introduce to you, and I see Jack Sykes back here, the county engineer, who also worked on this project at Kemper Summit Engineering. And Jack, glad to have you here today. But Governor Paul Patton, it's always a pleasure to work with you. It's a lot's going on in Pike County, and I'd just like for you to close this award ceremony out.
Thank you, Judge. It has been right impressive to see the outstanding accomplishments that people in our county have made, and that just illustrates that you know we can do anything that anybody can do anywhere. And we at Pikeville, at the University of Pikeville, you get fined $1 every time you say Pikeville College up on the hill. So I said the University of Pikeville, we're wanting to educate that next generation that will stay here and grow our economy and have outstanding achievements like been rewarded here today. So it's a great community, and things are going in the right direction, and let's just keep on keeping on.
Thank you all for coming out today, and we hope that you will take time to look at the EQT vehicles, to look at the monitor we have over here of everything we talked about today. That it's on the monitor, everything. There are displays on everything here, and it's a great day for Pike County as we work to provide.
They thought it was a tax upon their
county, and that's what we're here for. Those who of us are elected, like the public officials here today, we govern for tomorrow and for our children. So thank you, and God bless Pike County.